Everyone in crypto is asking the exact same question right now, and that is, are we in for another Rektember, aka a down month in the month of September, or will this be a little bit against the grain, maybe a contrarian month, as opposed to previous 4-year cycles, where we see the peak of the bull run, the month of September, actually be a green month rather than a red month? So I'm going to go over both cases, the bull and the bear, and I'm also going to give you my strategy to make sure you're well positioned for both circumstances. So without further ado, let's jump into it, guys. Be sure to drop down below if you're enjoying the content, like the video, as well as subscribe to the channel down below. We're dropping videos every single week here to make sure you win alongside throughout this bull market. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some incredible sponsors from Nexus, as well as Blowfin and 𝗕𝗟𝗏, the derivatives exchange from CoinW. And I want to give a big shout out today to Blowfin. First and foremost, if you're not already trading on Blowfin, I highly recommend you go create an account. No centralized exchange KYC restrictions. So you can trade from anywhere in the world, doesn't matter where you are. They are listing tons of new futures as well as pre-market listings on hype tokens like Linea, for example, which we've been farming that airdrop for quite some time, ever since last summer or so. So be sure to drop down below, hit the Blowfin link, and you can get a nice sign-up bonus on the best centralized exchange with no restrictions. You can trade from anywhere in the world. Now let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Of course, I want to preface, I'm not at my setup as usual this week. I will be back at my desk at the end of this week. So if you have a little bit of, different audio from our normal videos, that is why. It is my last day traveling. But let's just jump into the market, as we did see the World Liberty Fi token launch from Trump. People are curious if that's going to be an extractive thing for the market, if it's going to maybe stimulate some gains and actually be good for the market. We're going to have to find that out. We're going to see that not in just one day, right? I do think maybe it could not be the most bullish thing for the market. However, I think just looking at the trends this cycle versus previous cycle, there's way too much money right now flowing into altcoins and into crypto that maybe this time around September might not be as bearish as we have seen in the past. I just want to go through a little bit of data here. Obviously, the one chart that a lot of people on crypto Twitter, a lot of people on YouTube, other channels that you watch are probably showing you this exact same chart. And, we look at the monthly returns on Bitcoin over the course of history. We see here Bitcoin monthly returns in the month of September have just not been very bullish. Only 5 times out of the last 11 years has there been a bullish month of September. Actually, that would be 5 times over the last 12 years. We see here the only times we've seen a green September are the last 3 years since the 2021 peak of the bull run. So a lot of people are thinking we're in for another Rektember in 2017 and in 2021. On the 4th year of the 4-year cycle, it has always been a red month. So a lot of people are prepping for this. And we also see people hoping to see that obviously that plays out the same. And then we see a green month of October. Because if we look here at this exact same chart, we can see there's only been 2 times over the last decade that there has been a red month of October. I almost feel like this is too publicly focused on currently. Like at some points in the summertime, people said sell in May, go away. And that may have been true for altcoins. But if you had sold your Bitcoin or your Ethereum in the month of May and went away, that really didn't play out well. And that was a very public consensus thing. Everyone's just thinking they're so smart saying sell in May, go away. And the same time here, I think people are overthinking it to the point of just, history tells us September is a bad month. So right now, I think we're in for a low September, and then we're going to see October. If we look at the monthly exchange volume, of course, over the course of many of the last few years, exchange volumes have been the lowest in the month of September, according to other months. So look, I understand why the data does speak to say that potentially September could be a very bad month. And then also the cream on top of this dessert that we are trying to figure out how to cut into this cake and enjoy, whether it's going to be a Rektember or a good September, is alt season. We have not seen an alt season. The days since the last remnants of an alt season was 266 days ago. That would line up to the beginning of the year when meme coins and a lot of AI coins were doing very well before the Trump launch. And as we see here, the average length of alt season is only 18 days. So whenever this does come around, you're not going to have a ton of time to allocate into positions and figure out your strategy moving forward. So as mentioned, I'm just going to go over what I'm seeing in the market and why I actually think you need to maintain your positioning no matter what, no matter who's telling you it's going to be a Rektember or it's going to be a good September. I think you have to prep for both. So that's what we're going to get you ready for in this video. And the one thing that's really changed, obviously, since 2017 and 2021 is the institutional adoption and the amount of money actually flowing in to the top assets in crypto between Bitcoin and Ethereum. We don't have to tell you this. You've already seen this all over the place. But MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin seemingly every single week. We see entities like SharpLink Gaming holding 837,000 Ethereum, including 39,000 Ethereum purchased just this last week. This was not happening last cycle. We see full-blown governments buying Bitcoin. We see all these different businesses, institutions, BlackRock, ETFs. The game has changed completely. So I don't even think we can really look in the past at 2017 and 2021 and compare this market in a correlated way. Things in the volume has just strictly changed. There's no way around that. Now, of course, a lot of these sales do go on OTC, over the counter. So when Michael Saylor or SharpLink, when they're buying these, it might not actually factor into on-chain volume because they are usually brokering it with a big seller. So that could still maintain lower volumes across the crypto space this month. But I would actually have to say, September 1st, we saw World Liberty Fi launch and the volume was absolutely crazy. So that's already getting out on a leg where volume's going to be higher than the traditional September. And honestly, I think we have to position ourselves for the contrarian aspect. I've seen so many people saying that September's going to be bad. We're going to have a Rektember. Could we continue to correct from here? Yes. But honestly, from Bitcoin going from 124 to 108 as of this morning even, from that $16,000 drop, yes, altcoins aren't looking fantastic, but for the most part, the strength altcoins, Chainlink, Hyperliquid, Avalanche, they're down 5%. A couple percentage points over the course of a week, which has not been too friendly for the overall crypto market. So the best thing I can tell you is time in the market will beat timing the market every time. And you're going to drive yourself crazy on every single swing, on every single pump, if you are trying to be way too smart and trade in and out of your altcoins at all these given narratives. Like if you really think September is going to be bearish, that's on you. But at the same time, I'm looking at altcoin prices right now and the fact that we haven't had an alt season. And I do think October should be a strong month, but we could see that upside begin mid-September, especially if we do see rate cuts come in. So that's what I'm looking at in this market as of right now, guys. And look, I'm just looking at these prices right now. If we roll down the board to my favorite altcoins in the market currently, first and foremost, I think the best buy right now at these current prices is 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. This thing has gotten hit quite hard all the way from almost 400. If we look at the monthly chart, this thing was at exactly $400. It's down 25% basically ever since that high over in early April or early August whenever Bitcoin did hit all-time highs. 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is leading the AI sector. There's honestly no close second. Render has really taken a back seat to what 𝗬 has established, and I think there's no better, no-brainer AI play to be allocated into than 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So at 313, I think this is a fantastic hold, and that's the thing. You're looking at sentiment where people are so scared to buy right now because they think September is going to be bad. I think that's the time you do a little bit of a DCA into this market and be prepared for that upside, because that will be way more rewarding than waiting to see upside and then aping in and chasing green candles. The next one on my list, and the fact that this is such in the low $3, it is shocking to me. I do think this is way undervalued, and that is 𝗬𝗎. 𝗬𝗎, the amount of just VC money, institutions that love this token. I think 𝗬𝗎 goes to $10 plus very easily this cycle and is one that is a no-brainer to me at $3.22. The next one on my list, and especially if Athena does, continue its surge in the stablecoin space, and also there's rumors of 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗘 potential in the stock market. So I love Athena here at 67 cents. I think A, it's one of the best projects so far this cycle, and B, I just really think if they continue their surge into, regulation, stable coins, maybe even doing a SPAC on the stock market, for example, that could be very bullish for the ENA token. So I absolutely love Athena at these levels. Another one, but you guys know I love this token, which is Hyperliquid. I think Hyperliquid is still an amazing leverage long opportunity for the rest of this cycle, as well as for the majors. The last one that I'll really harp on here is Avalanche at $23. So those tokens, Athena, 𝗬𝗎, as well as 𝗬, and then we also have Avalanche. I think those are fantastic buys at this level. But going down the ladder here into a little bit lower market cap plays, and the fact that this one has gotten hit so hard is kind of shocking to me, because I think this is truly one of the best protocols in crypto right now, and that is 𝗓𝗓, the 𝗓𝗓 network, which trades on the base chain. This thing got up to $1.60 last month. Now we're trading at 76 cents. I think this is a fantastic accumulation level, and honestly is a major, major price point here to be able to take advantage of. Our initial buys here were at 60 cents. Went up to $1.60, and now it's sitting back at 78 cents. So if you had missed this trade, I think it is a fantastic opportunity to try to capitalize on upside. And then the last one that I think right now, especially leading into potentially Abstract's TGE at the end of this year, is the Pengu token. I think Pengu, first of all, is just the culture coin of crypto. But second of all, when this market turns around, I don't see any coin maybe springboarding to the upside faster than Pudgy Penguins. They're just everything about their brand. This is the one coin that's almost irresistible whenever it comes to quote unquote meme coins in this market. And then rolling down the ladder into a little higher risk. So obviously, I wouldn't be going so hard into this narrative, especially given what has happened over the years. But over the last month, gaming has really gotten some attention back. We see stuff with Pudgy Party. Pudgy Party right now is the #1 game on the racing app store, and this is current right now. I'm going to be able to jump into this week. I've been traveling a little bit, so excited to be able to check this out. But I know the feedback on this has been absolutely tremendous. And look, we see abstract ecosystem games like Gigaverse absolutely dominating. Football.fun, the fantasy football game, that is crushing at this point in time. We also see tons of updates within upcoming titles and existing titles. So to me, gaming has gotten a little bit of spotlight back. But like what Jonah says here, I don't think there's tons of gaming coins you can just comfortably sit in for the rest of this cycle. So he likes Mythical Games, who's behind Pudgy Party, FIFA Rivals, NFL Rivals, etc. He likes Superverse, and he likes Ronin. And I like all three of those, certainly, but I'm going for a little bit down the totem pole. Those are basically the top gaming coins in the market currently. And like I said, I love all three of those positions. But if I'm looking for major upside, as well as projects that have just held their price point so well during these points of turmoil and uncertainty in the market, #1 would be 𝗪𝗡𝗏. 𝗪𝗡𝗏's currently sitting at 8 cents, and it held that 10-cent level during this major market correction the entire time. I think 𝗪𝗡𝗏, they're catalyst for the rest of the year, one of the best in all of crypto gaming. Their token, the volume, so strong. To me, 𝗪𝗡𝗏 is a no-brainer, as well as Wilderworld. These guys just keep absolutely killing it. They have their $100,000 tournament. The qualifiers just opened up today. So this is another one on my list. And then the last low cap that we'll talk about today for gaming is Zentry. And Zentry just got listed on Binance Alpha. I do think, if you remember, GuildFi, they used to be listed on Binance, but once they changed their ticker and did a bridge to a new token, they got delisted, because that's just how it goes. They just got relisted on Binance Alpha, and I really do assume that Zentry will be relisted on Binance, the actual Binance platform, in the coming months. And we see they're building their first human agentic OS, where humans and AI co-evolve, accelerating civilization scale intelligence driven by crypto values. So I absolutely love those three low to mid cap gaming coins: 𝗪𝗡𝗏, Wilderworld, as well as Zentry. And that's what I'm looking at in the market right now, guys. For me, I'm preparing for both scenarios, right? I always recommend you keep stablecoins on the sideline just in case a dip presents itself and you want to take advantage of it. But I think everyone in the market is leaning one way right now. Rektember, bad September. Look at the historic. There's only been 5 out of the last 12 years that have been green for the month of September, and it never has happened in the 4-year cycle of 2017 and 2021. Both of those were red Septembers. But to me, that's an overblown narrative at this point. So I actually would not be surprised to see that by the end of this month, maybe we do see a little bit of upside. I mean, Bitcoin has corrected quite a bit from 124,000. Ethereum had its first major pullback, but altcoins are sitting strong here. And I love these price points that we're staring at in the market right now. So I am allocating at some of these prices, but I will say keep some stable coins in case the mass market opinion of Rektember does come true. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one on Thursday. As always, play well, my friends, trade responsibly, and I'll see y'all on the next one.